Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reflections with Auntie Debbie. Virtues in 5 minutes or less, or maybe a little more, usually a little more. Today, I'd like to share a quote from Albert Einstein. And he said that there are really only two ways to live your life. One way is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as if everything is a miracle. This is a really insightful and powerful comment by one of the most important scientists of our age, and I think it bears some reflection. What happens if we live our life as though nothing is a miracle? As if every sunrise and every sunset is simply a given? If, for example, the fact that humans shed roughly 1.6 trillion skin cells every month, as if all of those things are simply unremarkable biology. On the other hand, if we live our lives as though everything is a miracle, then we're going to be astounded by the fact that the act of respiration delivers oxygen to our cells, or the fact that this tiny little planet is teeming with life, and that so far, at least in this section of the galaxy and the universe, we're the only ones. We might really think about how consciousness itself is amazingly astounding. So think about it. If things are not miraculous, if nothing is a miracle, then everything in life is unremarkable. And we might be led to feel that the only thing we're doing here in our brief lifespan is grabbing everything we can. It might lead us to think that we should just be looking out for number one, which is, quite frankly, a really limiting school of thought. We might be led to think that life has no meaning or no purpose. We might be led to despair. If, however, we live our lives as though everything is a miracle, then we have the possibility of dwelling in a state of wonderment. We might develop a passion for observation and reflection. We might use our powers of creativity to find new ways to solve problems, to better the world for ourselves and for everybody else. We might find joy in helping other people discover their potential in the same way that we're trying to develop our own. So we might find beauty in all things, even those things that seem ugly or unimportant. We might discover a profound capacity for joy. I just want to add a note here. There are gray areas all over the place in this one. Life is not really linear, or consistent. We're humans after all. Our lives are usually a series of crisis and victory. So in actual fact, we may find times of confusion about what we believe concerning whether or not things are miraculous. And that's natural. That's part of being human. A child, for example, is usually going to absorb what their parents or their mentors thought about that choice. But as mature and conscientious adults, we need to make that choice for ourselves. And if it's not really obvious to us yet what our feeling is about that, then we need to take the time to reflect, because the fact is, what we think about that question will influence everything that we do. And it will mean the difference between how we pass through this brief span of life, whether it's joyous, whether it's meaningless. So it's an important decision. So, is the universe a friend or a foe? Is our life a springboard for amazement or a life sentence? Frankly, myself, I'm amazed at the fact that we even have the capacity to make that choice. So you can probably figure out on which side of the coin I'm aligned. But what about you? What do you think? Thanks for joining me today.